We got our Ford 8000 here, and we're finally going to get an air compressor and a hydraulic pump mounted on it. I cut this off and readjusted it. I pulled it back so we don't have to tighten the bolt as much to get everything to tighten up. We'll see if we're chasing our tail. We'll find out right quick if we can even get this belt on now. And then I added another screw just to keep the whole compressor turned this way. I can adjust this as I adjust this. Hopefully that'll work. We'll find out soon. So I got a feeling I can't get this one on now. Oh, perfect. Well, that's a good sign. Okay, sweet. A little worried about that. Before we get our coolant lines attached, I just want to test to make sure that our governor spring, unloader valve I think, works properly and it depressurizes. So we're gonna, I've flared a piece of copper line and crimped it on here, or ferruled it. Either way, I've attached a copper line. We're going to attach a hose and a pressure gauge and see if this thing works. So I just did up a test fitting here. We got a gauge attached to a flared fitting running down to an air tank. So let's see how long this takes to fill up and if it activates the unloader valve. I think I need to plumb something into here for that to work. So I installed a T to our test gauge, and we're just running a line from our test gauge over to this port. And I hope this is the right one, because I don't know about this. I'm learning how these air compressors work. No expert. Well, I heard something go pop. Was it 140? Now we've tested that the air compressor works, we're going to work on the coolant lines. So I've removed the original pipes that fed for the coolant lines, whatever engine this thing came off of. I've got some NIP 90s and some galvanized hose barbs that will allow us to direct our coolant lines that way, because both of them come up from over there. So let's get started. We got a 1-inch bung in here I gotta access. So we're gonna come out past the belts and up. And then there's a 1/2-inch bung right there that it can, because that's pressure, and then this is return. So we can start working on that. That bung there is seized on. I don't know, whoever put it on tightened the hell out of it. We got to get our hose on this one. I figured while we're at it, might as well try and get this other bung free. I don't know if it's going to come though. Put some heat on the block. I don't want to snap the breaker bar is the problem. And I can't get an impact in there. Nice. Oh, finally a win. Still need a pipe. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna put a vacuum on the system, then I can put my fittings on, get it out to here, and have it come along nice and out. Away from the fan. Don't have a lot of room though, so we'll try our best. Here you go, here's our setup. We're gonna put compressed air here, it'll blow through. It'll create a vacuum. We got it on the rad cap. I've plugged the other side so we're not just pulling vacuum there. And that will let us pull that out, put our new fitting in without dropping the coolant. Let's see if I'm right or if this is gonna be a big disaster. Got our pipe ready to go. There we go. We still gotta tighten this up, but at least it won't leak now. There we go. I quickly threw a couple tie wraps on to keep it out of the way of the belts and the fan. Wrapped it around. We're gonna have it tie wrapped around the air intake, so that way it's not rubbing against anything else. And now we've got it attached to our compressor head. So now our coolant line is done. Our oil line is done. We've fixed our squareness. It's still a little out, but it's a lot better. Still might be able to adjust that through welding on a little nut here and then twisting this and maybe turning that in. We'll find out. My plan is to put the hydraulic valve right here. So I'm taking 2 chunks of angle iron, welding them on like this, and that'll give us a spot to drill through, and we can mount our hydraulic valve. For now, it's just going to be controlled out here, but eventually when I get the money, we're going to run cables up into the cab, and then I can just do it from a joystick inside the cab. Okay, let's grab a square and try to line this up. Well, I kind of screwed up. Such is life when prototyping. These angle irons should have been this way rather than that way. Because now I don't have enough room to put bolts underneath this, which my whole plan was to have a nut under here, so I'm just gonna have to drill and tap. Oh well. Or I can weld bolts to the bottom and have it raised up a bit. Might do that. We'll see. There we go. Hydraulic valve is mounted. So now we got a spot for power and tank. It's going to work in nice. I'm going to come in from the hydraulic pump out over there to the tank. Haven't decided if I'm going to go. I'm going to get to the tank. Probably come this way and out 90 degree. Secondary boom, I guess. Primary boom. And then winch in and out. Okay, let's take it off and give this paint. Went ahead, got my 2 brackets welded up, painted up, bolted on the truck. Then I measured the distance between here and there, and now I cut a piece of galvanized bar grating. This will hold my tank and batteries. All the rocks and snow can fall out, galvanized so it won't rust with the batteries. Let's put it on. We're going to drill through, put some fender washers, probably do 1, 2, and 3. Hold that in. I thought about welding it originally, but now that it's painted, I have to grind and weld galvanized. I just got to cut 2 pieces of bar to go underneath the clamp for this guy. My fender washers are too small. So I put on my barb fitting yesterday and I realized I should have a check valve. So I grabbed a check valve and we'll put that on so that way our pump doesn't lose prime. It's easier on the pump. I just bought a cheap swing gate check valve so that way there's no force required to actually activate the check valve. Maybe I did. Our return port's right here, so we're going to put a 3-inch nipple in, and then our filter head's going to go right here. We still might weld on a bracket just to hold the weight off the filter head because it's going to be a lot of weight sitting on this nipple. But for now, we can just get it fitted together. We got a filter which we could still adjust, put a little bracket on. We got our suction to our pump. Now we can work on our valve body. I got my 2 clamps on. That's the way we're going to do it. Should really hold that in. Shouldn't move anywhere. We'll find out. Forgot to buy a second street L, so I can't actually cut this and terminate it. So this will be a later project. But I can get all the other hydraulic hoses in. Sweet. Just like that. Well, I measured perfect because it's come to right here, right where I'm going to need it. But originally I was going to go with NPT, but I'm going with JIC instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry fit everything first, and then I'm going to figure out where my rub points are, and then I will sleeve it with the hose wrap, whatever it's called. So that way I don't have to sleeve the whole cable. I can just do portions of it. Well, we'll see. Might just end up sleeving all the cables with the hose wrap. But first we're just going to dry fit everything, see how everything fits, and then we'll undo connections and sleeve it. So I disconnected this valve from underneath. It had these, I guess, O-ring face fittings on it, and my local hydraulic shop, I didn't feel like spending the money on these, so I went with 3/8 NPT instead, because then if I break a hose I can just go to a Princess Auto and get a new hose. So let's put this back up. So we got a couple fittings down in behind here I'm trying to get at. Right here. And so what I figured, I'm going to take this pin out, finish hammering it out, I guess. There we go. Well, it's actually, I don't know if it's water or oil. Water. I don't know if that's water or oil, but I think it's rusty water. So now, in theory, I should be able to pull this out. We'll find out. Oh, nice. Yeah. Now I can access these fittings. So I bought two 14-foots and two 13-foots. In order to keep them all the dirt, I hung them up on the mirror. So now I can tell which ones are the 13s and which ones are the 14s. So we'll grab my 13s. Put some tape on the end of it. Did a few half hitches. I'm going to put some tape on the end of this and it should just snake through there. Really good. We'll put some sleeve wrap around here, and then we should be good. I got both hoses in and sleeved. We'll fold this back down and see if it hits. I think we just barely clear. Oh. There. We just barely clear. Sweet. Ooh. So I decided to change out all my street 90s for stainless ones, because even though it's suction side and these are fairly clean, they're already rusting. So any bit of water in the system will cause these to rust. So change it out for the proper piece. And these are 10 times the cost. These are $14 versus $4. But oh well. Do it once, do it right. Got all my lines hooked up now. I went and sleeved them all with a abrasion protector, I guess, whatever you call it. I've temporarily mounted it up to the frame with some tie wraps for now. I gotta get some Behringer clamps or something. But just for testing purposes, changed out the steel pipes with stainless. I removed the 90 off here, just had a straight come out because I think it looks better than coming down and up and over. Hook those hoses up, replace the broken hoses underneath, got them all secured. Here's my discharge, it comes up and into the valve. Everything's nice. I'll have to double check before I fire up my hydraulics. I'm going to double check to make sure everything's tight so I don't get leaks. But we're just about to test the hydraulic system. Here's the high pressure out of the hydraulic pump and the suction in. This is all hooked up and good. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to add in a relay box right here, because I have some heated mirrors I put in and I don't like how they're wired up originally. So I'm going to put a little relay box in so I can control my clutch, my heated mirrors, and anything else I want to put on this truck. There, I've wired up this relay box. I still gotta secure the wiring, but at least for now we got it working. Had to quickly remove the compressor to change out this pulley, the magnet, because the original magnet clutch that I had lying on the shelf was shorted out, so I kept popping a fuse. So now that I got one that works, we can hook the coolant lines back up to our compressor and test everything out. We're just going to add oil to the tank. First pail.
bottom of the sight glass.